regulating still photography, videotaping, and audio taping of public meeting programs. I've had a couple conversations with people today. I just wanted to make it clear for Township Committee what this is about and also to the public. This matter started because of a Supreme Court decision from 2007 called Tarus, that's T-A-R-U-S, which made it very clear, as we have discussed here in this Township Committee meetings on numerous occasions, that people have a right to videotape, to take photographs and other things. That has been discussed here at meetings any number of times. And this Township Committee has made it clear that they want to encourage people to have that First Amendment right to videotape and also to be able to speak. And I know they've gone to great lengths at times to allow the public to speak at length. It also came about because a resident did ask at several committee meetings about the possibility of videotaping the meetings here, and Township Committee indicated that it would get back to them. Now, the purpose of the resolution is to protect and to promote those First Amendment rights, and there are at times competing First Amendment rights. Some of the First Amendment rights has to do with one person's right to videotape a meeting. Someone else's First Amendment right would be to be able to speak at a meeting, and we want to encourage people to speak at meetings. And sometimes those two rights come into conflict with one another. So the purpose of the resolution was to be sure that someone who wants to videotape can, to be sure that someone who does videotape is not disruptive to the meeting so that the public's work can be done, and also to be sure that when one is videotaping that it does not in some way chill public participation. For instance, it would not be appropriate if someone stood up during the public comment period and wanted to make a statement that they'd be surrounded by 10 people taking their photograph, invading their space, or putting cameras in their faces. The Supreme Court in the Tarus case made it very clear that two things are for certain. Everybody has the right to videotape. People have the right to speak, and that right to videotape can have reasonable restrictions placed upon it. What this resolution was attempting to do was to place those reasonable restrictions. Now, what's reasonable to some people might not be reasonable to others, and that's what this is about. If anything that this shows is that the process works. We talked about this resolution at a work session 2 weeks ago. It was discussed openly in a public meeting. It was asked if it was appropriate to place it on the agenda. We decided to do that. It was then placed in the public realm on the township website. People could read it there. It was distributed. So the public was certainly made aware of it, and I think that's why many people are here. We have, since I've had some discussions with people who are knowledgeable in this field. And specifically, they have expressed to me some concerns that perhaps some of the restrictions that are proposed, while reasonable and openly discussed in the Supreme Court decision, might, in its application in the real world, actually have the effect of chilling some people's First Amendment rights. That's not what the intent of this is. The intent, again, is to promote people's First Amendment rights. I specifically, will be honest, had a discussion with Al Campbell from one of our newspapers here, someone whom I've known for 20 years and dealt with in a professional manner in this government newspaper type relationship, someone whom I respect, who indicated to me that he felt that some of the provisions could have that chilling effect and make it difficult for some journalists to do their job. That's not what the intent of this was. I therefore indicated to Al that I'd be happy to sit and talk to him, any other member of the press, anybody from the public, if they feel that there are changes that should be made to this resolution. I will note, too, that when this was discussed at the work session, there were a couple sections that we had agreed would be changed, specifically having to do with some technological issues, which are now probably outdated, which I think are a little too specific. And somewhere along the line, the clerk and I got our cues mixed up, and those changes weren't done. So I was probably going to ask that this matter be tabled anyway. In light of the other issues that have been raised, that maybe this is not as practical in the real world as we would hope, I'd ask the Township Committee to table this and to give me some time to sit with Mr. Campbell, maybe some other people, and to see if there's a way to do it. I want to express again that the purpose of it is to protect people's right to come in here and to videotape and to photograph. I don't think anyone could ever indicate at any time when anyone has said, put the camera away, don't videotape, don't take pictures, don't audio record. That has always been done. People have the right to do that. The only purpose of this was, frankly, to set some rules so that when people want to do it, they know they have to abide by those rules, so that other people's rights are not infringed upon. So I ask that the Township Committee just table this, and if you choose to consider it again at some other point after I've had an opportunity to revise some of the language, you can do that. Thank you.
That being said, is there anyone else that might have a question regarding this agenda prior to moving forward?